Gonna build a mountain from a little hill.
Hey guys, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is The Lady Designer, and we're here with an overview of all the things you are getting with the free update 1.6 coming next to the Africa pack. So everything you see in this video, what I'm going to show you, will be free for you to play with. It will be free for you to update in your game. If you want to see everything from the Africa pack itself, I will link that video in the description down below, and also with that little I button in the corner of this video, you can also find the overview of the Africa pack. Now, without further talking, let's jump into it. And the first thing we're going to talk about are the custom audio speakers. So right over here, you can see we have these music speakers. For everyone that played Planet Coaster, you already know these speakers. And obviously, you can just select whatever music you want, and the music will start playing. Now, I did had a little issue with this one. You need to make sure that your settings are right, obviously. So you have your audio settings right over here. Make sure that you don't have these checked. And also, sometimes it did not start, and whenever I just went away to different areas, so I went here for just a second, and I came back, and then the music started. So just a little information. If you have the same issues, just move away for a little bit. Maybe that will start your speaker to play. And the second thing that we're going to talk about are the Vista Points. Now, these guys are also familiar for the people that played Planet Coaster. And these are really cool. You can actually make sure that when you have like guests walking over here and you use your Vista Point, that you can say like, okay, I want my guests, because I have like this beautiful statue or park or whatever, but something that does not include an animal, but you want your guests to really admire this. That is where your Vista Points come in very handy. So if you click your Vista Point, you can set an item focus, and you can say like, okay, I want them to look at this tree, or I want them to look at this little pole right over here, or this one, or this one. You can be really selective, and then just confirm this. And then whenever you have guests here, they will be attracted to this point, and they will stand still for a bit. They might be taking some pictures, and they will be admiring this section right over here, which makes it feel much more realistic in a lot of ways. So I definitely do really like it that we are getting Vista Points, or we have Vista Points again in the game. They're really, really useful for certain situations. So the next things that are really, really cool are these mesh fences, I think they call it. So you have right now some pieces that you can create your own aviaries or whatever you want to do, but you have more freedom and control over your fences. Now, you do notice that when you are just a little bit further away, like it does not render too well, but honestly, I was checking the normal fences and stuff, and it actually happens as well, because as you can see right over here, the same happens on the inside, but not on the outside, but you don't notice it that much because you know that there is a fence. And that is the same with like the normal fences in game. I think it's just too thin to really render well on a distance. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. I did mention it to Frontier to see if they can maybe improve that, but I'm not entirely sure if that is the case. But yeah, you also have these kind of pieces, but as soon as you like build pillars around this or anything like that, it will become more obvious that you did make some kind of fence here. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But yeah, we also have these pillars around it. So these are pre-made fences. So this is just one piece, and you can obviously recolor it. So that is really useful. I'm actually not sure if you can recolor these guys as well. Oh, you can. So that is actually quite interesting. I did not see that earlier. So yeah, you can recolor the inside and the outside right over here. And you also have these fences right over here, also very useful. I see a lot of people using these ones as well. They're very beautiful. And also one-sided glass. So you may think, hey, that's just a normal glass, isn't it? No. It's one-sided glass. So that is really cool. You now can create your own one-sided glass, and yeah, whatever you want to use it for. So these are very, very useful, very much wanted items for Planet Zoo. I think that is really, really cool. A lot of different variations. something we have been asking for a long time. So yeah, I think I see a lot of aviaries and stuff being made now with these pillars and these items to create really the aviaries of your dreams. So that is really cool, coming to you all with the free update 1.6. So the next thing we're going to talk about are the habitat cameras and the camera effects. So as you can see right over here, we have this really small piece. I did add a few of them. So we have one over here. We have one right over here in the tree, just to give you an idea of what you can do with this. So if we go right over here, we can go into enter camera view. So if you do not put this one in your habitat, then it will not have a viewing habitat 3. Because this is also important, because they need to be connected to your habitat because of your marketing. So you get like an extra bonus stars from webcams right over here, and I think if I read it correctly, it's only with a maximum of 6 habitats, so it's not like endlessly more bonus, but only with like a 6 amount of webcams is a max, I think. So don't pay me on that one. So yeah, you can obviously enter camera view just like this. You can have a nice look at these cute little fennec foxes playing around from home. Like obviously it's not like, you have to imagine the fact that they're watching from home, because other than that, there is not that much to it than the rating right over here in your zoo overview. So you don't have any other tab or anything. I tried to see if you could connect it with like a screen, but that also is not the case. So what you could potentially do is record it and then play it on a loop on a screen to give the idea that people are looking into like a cave or anything with a webcam from the outside of the habitat. Something like that. You can definitely play around with that, but it's not possible to just connect it with your camera and the screen. So obviously we also have some camera effects right over here. We have this new option, and then you can apply your filters. You can have different type of filters, obviously. So they added a few of them right over here. You have these options all over here and apply vignette. So you have different types of styles. You can also make it dark, which is actually a little bit more realistic with this green filter. So when you now enter this camera view, it really feels like a nighttime camera. So you can play around with the filters, like whatever style you want to create or whatever theme you want to create, which is actually really cool. I do really like that. And they also made sure that if you're using NVIDIA Ensel, which I use to make my thumbnails and stuff, that you can still use these filters as well. So they also work with your NVIDIA Ensel, which is really cool. So it's really nice to have this kind of feature. I see a lot of people being really creative with this one already, and to create some screens, as I said, with like recordings and stuff. So I think that's going to be super cool. So yeah, we now have these habitat cameras. And the last thing I wanted to show, oh, there it is. If you go and enter, you can just move in between the cameras inside of your habitat. So that is really cool. Did not test this with different habitats and different cameras. I'm not really sure if that will go to different habitats as well, but at least you can switch between the cameras in between one habitat, which is really cool. So a few different changes they made for managing your zoo. One is that you now have a bigger animal storage. So you now have space for 200 animals in your storage, which is really nice. Definitely an improvement of the game. And if you go to your zoo overview, for example, you can now search for any species in here. You can also do this at the animal market, at the animal storage, at the exhibit market, and the exhibit storage. So you now have this search bar right over here, which can be very useful to find your animals or specific animals instead of like searching through here. So that's a little bit easier sometimes. So definitely a nice improvement. And next up is the staff management changes. So you can now just collapse these or just select all your staff for a different type, and then also train your staff if needed or change their work zone. So it's all made a lot easier to manage your staff, which is very useful. This was actually supposed to be in the previous update, but it didn't work well, so they removed it again, and now they're implementing it again, and it should be working good and fine now. And another thing, they did a change right now, but I'm not playing a campaign scenario, so I'm not really able to show it. But you can now continue your zoo in campaign scenarios. So once you will reach gold, you will unlock all available animals and be able to continue playing your campaign scenario. So that is also a good change for everyone that likes to play campaign scenarios. And another thing being added that I can't really show but just wanted to inform you is that there also is a new timed scenario for the people that love to play those. Also with this update are a lot of new sandbox features. So if you are playing sandbox mode, you can change the game however you want it to run. So there are a lot of changes right over here. Just to mention a few of them, you can now change the social groups, overcrowding, animal stress, animal fight, animal predation, animal fear, habitat cleanliness, devication, or devication, I'm not really sure how to say that name, how to say that word, animal temperature need, terrain need, plant need, food spoiling. You can enable protesters, inspections, escapes, anything you want. Definitely, if you're playing sandbox mode and you want the exact control over your zoos, go and check this out. And you also have different settings right over here, so you can save different type of settings however you want to play. So you can also just save it to have in every sandbox zoo the same settings, which can be very, very useful. So I highly recommend you all to check out these sandbox settings if you're playing in sandbox mode, to see how you can play the best and easiest. And I think definitely for me, the animal escapes thing is definitely a really good one, because I had so many issues with different type of zoos with escaping animals. So those kind of things are super useful. So definitely go and check out these new sandbox settings to play however you want to play. So with the free update, you will also be getting some new path textures. If I'm correct, like I can't really remember that we ever had paths that were connected to a paid DLC. So if I'm correct, these are all for the free DLC for everyone to use. So I'm gonna assume that that is the same case for these amazing path textures as well. So we have this lovely tile path section with this beautiful, beautiful fence right over here. Really do love this one. This one is very beautiful, very useful for a lot of different areas, I think. So yeah, very beautiful path. Then we have this one, also a very nice one. I think many people will also be able to use this one. I see these also a lot in like interiors and stuff. I think they're really great for that. Also really nice fence coming with it. So definitely check that one out as well. And this is the last one. I'm not really a fan of this texture myself, but maybe I can see this in an underwater viewing area or something like that now I think of it. But also really cool fence around it, definitely in the Africa style. So it looks really, really nice. Definitely some really great new path textures coming along with the free update. So we're now at our city zoo to check out the bears and their deep diving, which is also coming to you with the free update 1.6. And for everyone that has been following this series, we have some polar bears right over here in this corner. And we're going to that habitat and we're going to add just all the bears in there and check out their beautiful diving animations. So for some reason, my city zoo was bugging and it didn't want to dive anymore, unfortunately. So I had to make this separate file for the polar bears to do their deep diving. And all the other bears, of course, we're going to look at them as well. And this is looking just absolutely amazing, doesn't it? Oh man, this is something I have been waiting for so freaking long. So now when you're going to get the Arctic pack, you get a diving polar bear, which is just super amazing. Yes, just look at it. That is just awesome. I really, really love these animations. So let's just go to the next bear. So right over here, we have the sun bear, an animal that I actually did not expect to see deep diving, but I'm expecting Frontier that they did a lot of research. And yeah, so I actually thought like the Himalayan brown bear should be deep diving as well, but they don't deep dive, but the sun bears do. Whatever, it does look really cool to have more bears deep diving in the water. It just looks really, really amazing. And here we have some grizzly bears swimming around as well, which is looking very cool as well. I do really like that we now have grizzly bears also being able to deep dive in habitats, which is just really, really amazing to see. They're so huge. They're so big. Really, really cool. And last but not least, we have the Formosan black bear also being able to dive. Now, obviously, all these bears have the same animations. I'm not really surprised about that, to be completely honest. Although I do think that maybe the polar bear could probably have some more animations compared to the others. I think like the polar bear is definitely one of the most favorite swimmers of them all. I think, at least. I could be completely wrong. But yeah, it's really cool to see finally some bears doing some diving animations in action. I think that's just really, really amazing. So yeah, coming to us with the free update 1.6. So yeah, do let me know, of course, what you guys think of everything new coming to you with the free update 1.6, including these diving bears, which is just really, really amazing. Leave a like at the video if you guys enjoyed, and subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. And yeah, I just really hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye, guys!